Hey, Zola. Zola. Hey folks, our weekly update is going to be a little bit different this week. I'm actually in Whistler right now, so for the Canada Day long weekend, Canada Day is on Wednesday, but for the Monday, Tuesday, I'll be up here, so some of you guys might actually see me on Zoom calls from the campsite. There is Wi-Fi here. We've brought the trailer up, but right now it's raining, so we've got the bikes here. We usually do like to ride into the village, can't really do that right now, but we will just be hanging out at the campsite, playing some cards right now, and then as soon as the weather clears up, we'll be able to do some more stuff out here. But I will be recording a couple things, so I will hopefully get some of this exciting stuff out here in Whistler included into the weekly update. Otherwise, we will still have our guest Q&A, which was pre-recorded, so I'm going to mix that in too. Otherwise, see you guys next week.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by, it doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow, somewhere in the great unknown. When I return from the afterglow, will you carry me like I am whole again? Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all, I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all, I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. If I could take you back to my youth and show you what I wish I knew, my will is strong with a place to lean. In the moment I hung desperately, the other ring on my wrist is gold, pairing with the light it holds. When I return from my skin and bones, I'm remembering the words you told me.
Hi folks, this week we are pleased to have one of our technical product managers, Dan Edgar, joining us for the call. How's it going, Dan?
Good, how are you?
We're good.
Glad to be here.
Do you want to chat a little bit about your role at F5, kind of the things you do on a day-to-day and week-to-week basis?
Sure. I just joined the NGINX Business Unit probably 3 months ago. Still trying to define what that means in terms of role, but a technical product manager wears a lot of hats. I'm particularly excited about the role because I get to do technical things. I get to help enable sales, but I'm also very passionate about application security because of my development background and the need to secure things as early as possible. We just released NGINX App Protect a few weeks ago, and I'm totally excited about that. So working on that, but also pivoting to work on newer use cases and new products that are also going to be coming down the pipeline. So lots going on, but it's exciting times.
Yeah, no kidding. We're We're just starting to have discussions with our customers here in British Columbia about NGINX App Protect. I think the capabilities sound like they're going to be a perfect fit as customers sort of drive towards that modern app architecture. So we're looking forward to working with some customers and seeing how it goes. So Dan, I'm not sure if you've kind of listened in on any of our sessions before, but with all of our guests, we do a little bit of fun Q&A just to get to know you a little bit better personally. So if you're ready to go, I'm going to put you through the rapid fire questions here. What was your first computer?
This surprises most. It wasn't my first computer, but we had a family computer. And in the late 70s and early 80s, there weren't a lot of them around. So at that time, though, I got to play with a TRS 80 Model 1, 16K of memory and a tape drive. My dad had it. He was a technology guy, and I got some real early exposure to that. So I'm going to go with that.
Nice. What was your first job? Tell us about it. It could be your first job in IT or your first job coming out of high school.
I'll give you my very, very first job. My first real, paying job where you get taxes taken out and all that other fun stuff. Yeah. So first legitimate job was at a grocery store. I was 14 years old. I was counting redemption items. So bottles and cans. In the back room of this grocery store. It was particularly disgusting because it was a really hot room, and we were the grocery store that was closest to a college campus. So they would bring in their bags. This was before the can counting machines. I was a can counting machine. Yeah. And there would be some of the most gross, disgusting contents in that bag I had to sift through. So it was very enlightening, and I got a little PTSD after that, but I got into technology after that, so I haven't had to count cans again.
Yeah, you learn the value of a dollar pretty quickly at an early age when you do a job like that.
Definitely.
So who inspires, or who or what inspired you to get into your IT career?
And I alluded to this earlier. I'd say my father. So he always loved electronics and technology, went to school for that. And before the public internet, interestingly enough, there were BBSs, bulletin board systems, these things you would phone into with a modem, do chat boards like recipes and things like that. He had one of the first BBSs in the state of Oregon in the early 80s, 300 baud. So being exposed to a lot of that technology early on really got me excited about technology, and particularly with the on the software side of things.
Cool. So we ask this question quite often of our local guests that we have on. Name your favorite spot in British Columbia. Obviously, if you've not spent a lot of time in BC, it could be your favorite spot in your home state.
I can answer that for BC. I've only been there once. So my favorite spot, I'd have to say, I've been to Vancouver. I really liked the Port Moody area, the brewery scene there. As well as Grouse Mountain. We did the gondola thing up there, and it was really cool, great views. But I want to visit Victoria, and that hasn't happened yet. So
yeah, I grew up in Victoria, so I've got a particular fondness for that. But my brother now lives in Port Moody. Boo lived in Port Moody, and I'll be doing a Sunday afternoon with my brother at the breweries this
down
week.
At Yellow Dog or something.
Yep, Yellow Dog's in there. One of the good ones for sure. So yeah, nice. Cool. What have you been doing to kind of stay sane while you've been stuck at home over the last number of months?
Lots of walking to clear the head. And then also occasionally when I'm not working, trying to get lost in playing music or recording music whenever I can. So that's kind of my go-to recharge.
We've had a few guests who have done the same thing, either learning instruments or already proficient at instruments, and have just decided to kind of pick it up and jam with some friends online type of thing. So I think we could get a virtual band together here before too long.
Sweet.
Yeah, Daryl and I have learned how to play guitar over the last 8 weeks.
That's right. I heard that.
Boo may have, but I don't know if you could call that from me. But what's one thing you've bought over the last number of months while been stuck at home that has had a bit of an impact?
Well, since I'm stuck at home, my choice might surprise you, but new carpet for the downstairs.
Oh, nice.
Because I could be having a frustrating stress day, and then I walk onto the carpet off my treadmill, and it's so fluffy. It's so great on the feet, and there's just something about that that's just, this is great. So that might be one of the most unusual answers you've heard, but it's the little things in life.
Fluffy carpet. Yeah. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I've seen you on the treadmill online. So you do some of your online meetings on your treadmill. Is that correct? Or
yeah, when not on video. Otherwise, it can look kind of awkward. I did have a walking scenery thing, which did help some of that. But
yeah, I saw
not in
that.
front of customers usually.
Great. Well, here's a bit of an interesting one. What is your definition of success, Dan?
I think finding that sweet spot, that intersection of doing what you like, but also you happen to be good at, while making an impact on others at the same time. And adding to that, beyond work, just being kind to others and giving of your resources, and also helping make other people successful kind of makes me feel like, I'm successful. So multifaceted answer, but it comes down to more than just work for me.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I mean, if you can achieve all of those things, then you're obviously doing pretty well. Any favorite podcasts or books you're listening to, reading about right now?
I have a hard time paying enough attention to get lost in a book, but I've been reading Armada, which is the author's Ernest Cline, the guy who wrote Ready Player One. He had another novel called Armada, and I'm like 2 chapters into it, and I bought it like 6 months ago, which is super shameful, but that's the only thing I'm reading right now. Very occasionally. Not subscribing to any podcasts right now.
So last question is, once all of this COVID stuff is over, what's the vacation spot you guys are planning on taking?
Oh, that's a good one. Once it's over. Not making any plans right now. So what we're doing is smaller getaways that can be done with some social distancing. So like day drives, maybe go a couple of days to the coast or the mountain, that kind of stuff. So no big epic vacations, because it seems like they'll be canceled like the ones we previously had planned. So just little things to take breaks every now and then is all I've got in the books so far.
Yeah, we're kind of trying to do the same thing here. I think Boo is going to get away up to Whistler this weekend, or leaving this afternoon. And we just planned a little getaway to the Okanagan in British Columbia, sort of wine country, in mid-July. So I think we're kind of the same.
Very cool.
Yeah, well, that's great. Thank you very much, Dan. And Boo, are you going to have Dan on for a live stream coming up in the next number of days?
Yeah, so this Thursday coming up, we're going to have a bit of a live stream on some of the stuff that Dan mentioned that he is working on these days. Any sort of teaser you can leave with us for that coming up, Dan?
The teaser is, what are ways you can use to secure your application at the speed of development? Are there any ways to introduce security early on in your development pipelines? And we're going to be talking about some of the ways, particularly wrapped around the NGINX App Protect product, that might surprise you. And it's very different from our previous offerings at the F5. So I'm going to be excited to show you a little bit about that and how you might be able to use that in your own pipelines.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. I mean, that's one thing we've talked about for years with customers here in BC about putting security into the application development as early as you possibly can. But it's one of those things that has always been easier to say than do. So as you said, NGINX, I think, changes that a little bit too. So, well, thank you very much, Dan. We'll look forward to your live stream with Boo in a few days here.
All right. Cool. You guys take care.
All right. Thanks, Dan.
Hey guys, so the weather did clear up. I am in a beautiful part of Whistler right now. This is actually right by the campsite that I'm at. Here's the river. It's just got an incredible color to it. Rode the bike over here, just not too far away. Actually, hopefully get out for a little bit of a hike later. But I thought I would take this time that I have right now to just quickly film the F5 updates for y'all. This week, when I get back, I will have a live stream with Daniel Edgar. Now, you would have seen Dan in the guest Q&A this week. I'll be chatting with him on Thursday about what he's doing now and some of the neat things that he's working on, which is NGINX App Protect. Big deal for us. This is something that really enhances the security capabilities that you have with NGINX and bringing some of those rich big IP features over to the NGINX data plane. That one's worth checking out on Thursday. Okay, so if you missed it, there was actually International Women in Engineering Day, and Sarah Boddy actually wrote an article about her experience in STEM. So included that link. I think it'd be really cool for folks to check that one out. Big IP 15.1.0.4 just released. A big change that's come up is that VEs now take advantage of Intel SmartNICs, and if you haven't heard of those, they actually have FPGAs that are built into the NIC that can offload network functions big network functions such as DDoS mitigation. Now that is one of the hurdles for people that want to move to virtual editions, but they can't because they need some of the capabilities that are in the mid-range platforms and higher. Potentially this is a possibility for folks like that to move over. You do have to size accordingly, but this is a possibility now. So if you want to look at that, let's have a chat about it and figure out, how we can architect that into your environment. As usual, there has been updates to signatures for ASM and AWAF. Check that out on downloads.f5.com. There was a new release of the Cisco ACI F5 Service Center app, version 2.5. I'm going to include a link for that. Webinar that I'm including a link on is another great one with Dan Woods. We always get great feedback from the webinars that he does. This one is on financial aggregators. This is on June 30th, so worth checking that out. Jeff Drew has done a few more pieces for folks as well. One is on autoscaling big IP inside of GCP. Another article I have included is one by Lori McVitie, and this is on how containers are changing scalability. She always has great insights that she brings, so that one's worth checking out. Another article I've included is on how much your personal data is worth inside of the dark web. It kind of puts into perspective how much is out there and what people are getting for that kind of stuff and the economy behind things. And another article I've included is on how hackers are using Google Analytics to bypass typical fraud mitigation techniques. Another one worth checking out, people stealing credit card data and whatnot. So that's all the updates that I have for you this week. Hopefully you've enjoyed some of the things that I've shared with you this week. Whistler is a beautiful place to be. Hopefully I actually get a couple more opportunities to be here during the summer. But otherwise, I will continue filming some stuff and maybe release a few more things later on in the week, as I'm sure you guys would love to see some of the beautiful things that Whistler has to offer. It's one of the things that everybody, when they come on to our guest Q&A, mention as one of their favorite places in British Columbia to visit. So I'm here, I may as well take some videos and photos and share those with you guys. Thanks a lot, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Thanks for checking this out today. If you're watching via YouTube right now, go ahead and click subscribe down below. Also click the bell for notifications. That way you will find out when we are dropping a new video or when we're going live. Also, there's darylandboo.com. If you head over to that, leave your name and email address, we will drop a weekly technical newsletter in your inbox every Monday. Also, this is available via podcast, Apple, Google, Spotify. Head over to one of those, hit subscribe, and you'll be able to listen to us in the car on your commute or during a walk or a run. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time.